Yo, what's up, folks? MTG here, and kicking off 2025, Happy New Year, by the way, with Vampires. Obviously, it was a very, very powerful deck in Pioneer Explorer last year. We had Rakdos Vampires come to Rise of the Pro Tour, all the Sorin, Vein Ripper combo stuff going on. Unfortunately, no longer have Sorin, but did receive some new Vampires this year. Importantly, I wanted to try Gatekeeper Malakir, which is secretly under the radar, one of my favorite cards, and Calastria Highborn. Which is another new edition. Both of these came into the format from Foundations. I played a little bit with them in the past. Gatekeeper particularly would do I might have been the person going Dark Ritual, Gatekeeper, Malakir Legacy for better or definitely for worse. But hey, and then I remember Calastria Highborn and Standard. We're kind of slotting these into a Vampire aggro deck, trying to race our opponent down. And yeah, we've got some pretty nice tools in order to do that. So at 1 we have Pulse Tracker and Vicious Conquistador. These are very small, but have good triggers on them to make your opponent lose life. And then we're going to try and use these life loss triggers to our advantage here. So Conquistador are 1/2 when it attacks the opponent loses 1 life, and then Pulse Tracker is kind of the same, but at a 1/1, it's a little bit smaller. We then have Knight of the Ebon Legion. I mentioned, hey, causing our opponent to lose life will hopefully benefit us somehow. Is a 1/1 1/2 with the Pump ability. That also gives Death Touch, which can be nice. But at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, it gets a counter. So, okay, cool. That kind of makes sense. And we have some more stuff further up the curve. Lastly, in what one, we've got some Fatal Pushes here. I was wondering between a split of Fatal Pushes and Thoughtseize. I originally played 4 of each. We are trying to basically play a 4-drop and kill our opponent that turn, though. That's kind of the aim of the deck. And so I've got the Guardian removals, keeps us up with aggro decks and also remove annoying blockers. Because as I mentioned, Conquistador and the Pulse Tracker are quite small. But yeah, we're going to hopefully finish our opponent before they get to do their combo stuff. And we'll see how that actually plays out. It might be that you want to put some Thoughtseize in here and chop down some of the larger stuff. However, for Best of 1 in particular, there's a lot of aggro. And we'll be taking this to the Best of 1 ranked afterwards. I think the season's actually, yeah, of course, the season's just reset. It's the new year. But yeah, Fatal Push is probably the choice. I was thinking about playing a 3-3 split. Initially had 4-4, but kind of trimmed some to make space, and figured actually there's not really much point in paying 2 Thoughtseize. If you're going to lose the combo, you're going to lose the combo. Just play the Fatal Pushes, and hey, would have the Thoughtseize on the board. At 2 then, we have the new additions. Gatekeeper Malakir, black for a 2/2. However, his kicker for black for target player sacrifices a creature of their choice. Notably, the Hexproof Auras deck is very popular at the moment, and so hey, this kind of nukes that quite a lot. And then Calastria Highborn. So the Vicious Conquistador and the Pulse Tracker have that to lose, or our opponents to lose life. The Knight benefits from them, and then the Calastria Highborn is another one. So whenever this creature or another vampire you control dies, you can pay black. If you do, target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Okay, neat, fine. Then at 3, things get a bit more interesting. Markov Baron, we don't have a great ways to manage this out unless our opponent makes us discard a card, which isn't impossible. I did think about Smuggler's Copter, and I played versions of Vampires with that in here. We kind of wanted to try the pure Vampire deck and see how things went. It does still have Convoke on it, which can be nice, just flooding the board on turn 2. Going 1-drop turn 1, and with the 12 1-drops, it's very possible going one of these into one of these, and into the Baron, is a very, very nice start. Then it's just a Vampire Lord with lifelink. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Creature Schism is kind of what we're using as a kind of card advantage engine. It's a 2/4 Death Touch, which blocks a bunch of stuff. But when it attacks the player with the most life, or type with the most life, you make a Vampire with a lifelink. And when we are at the most life, so obviously we're beating down, we get to draw cards and lose life. And that's how we're kind of staying in the game, making sure we've got some card advantage. More on that in a minute. The last 3-drop is Drana, Liberator of Malakir. 1 black for a 2/3, flying, first strike. When it does common damage to play it, put a counter on each attacking creature you control. So he has that first strike ability, so hopefully deal damage first, pump the rest of our creatures. Okay, sweet. Pretty nice. Oh, one important thing. This is either play. We're not probably going to trigger it for life loss on our turn. That is one thing you can do with Thoughtseize, I guess. But then the other thing I wanted to touch on was the card advantage. We're playing 4 Bloodletters of Aquilzots at the top here, as our top of our curve. 1 black, 2/4. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. And this benefits all of these triggers. All of these triggers to kind of try and play this, finish our opponent off, or maybe we get need 1 more turn, but finish our opponent off that way. And then we have Nykthos here, a couple of copies to ramp into this. So one thing about this deck is that when you're playing, I think this version is playing 21 lands, Yep. We've got 2 Nykthos here. Obviously, they are legendary, and we do have like black spells. There is Urborg, thankfully now in Arena. Thank you, Pioneer Masters. But we don't want to like overload with Nykthoses and get kind of stranglehold by them when it comes to colored sources. The other option that I was thinking, which helps with card advantage and is like another big card to play, is Champion of Dusk. It enters, you draw cards for the number of vampires, then you lose much life, but it is 5 mana. And in theory, you could like swap some of these creatures out, or maybe make some cuts or otherwhere to make space for these. The problem is, like, without Nykthos, you're really going to struggle to reach 5, unless you're playing like 22, 23 lands. Even then, like, you need to be playing like 24 lands and be doing really well to really get that consistently. And so just topping out with Bloodletter is the option here. Champion of Dusk, much better when we had Sorin to cheat things into play. Yeah, as was every other vampire. And similarly, no like Vein Rippers. I guess you could try and play like a bigger version of the deck where you're going bigger up the vampire curve and playing like, oh, I'm gonna. Well, I did also consider the other Sorin, which I think is like a reasonable choice, and I would probably have some in my sideboard. But yeah, you could go bigger up the curve and play like Sorin, the 4 mana Sorin, Champion of Dusk, Vein Ripper, which is still powerful if you can like cheat into play. But then you'd be like leaning into 4 Nykthos and then be playing more lands and not have all these like be off of this 1-drop aggressive plan basically. But I think that is probably worse just because you're just slower and still suffer all the problems with combo and control to an extent. That being said, that's the list. Gonna see how this fares in some best of 1 ranked. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Helps me out a ton. Similarly, if you have any thoughts on the deck, or please do let me know in the comments. Or if you know anyone who like it, please do share it around. And we're gonna hop into some matches. So, all right, first match here with the Vampire deck. Not sure exactly how to go. We have a Nykthos, which is nice. No 1-drop is more awkward. This is like a really rough curve, actually. But this is like... I think... Okay, my opponent has mulliganed. I think I will as well. Try and find a 1-drop here. We're playing 12 of them. We really want to have one in our opener. Which slows everything else down. We'll keep this. I'm going to put one of the Preachers on the bottom. Just the opportunity that the Bloodletter allows us to, especially when we've got 3 lands already. I don't really want to put a land back when we've got 2 3-drops. So we'll go ahead and keep this. Boros Burn, probably? Yeah, with the Commandos. Gotta be. Could be some kind of, like, tempo deck. Second Bloodletter is not what we wanted to see. But we'll go ahead and run this out. Okay, second Commandos. Do they not have a creature? Okay, they do not. They're just going to skew here. Okay, reasonable. Like I said, they mulligan, so that's not great. We have nothing to do on turn 2, though. So they are just going to get a Kakazan coming across the table. But we're not dying, like, super quickly. And hopefully this Preacher will do some work. Okay. They drew the Swift Spear this turn. Otherwise they'd have played it to get the... I want to get across. I want to save the Clash Highborn to get some more stuff in play. So I'm going to just make the Preacher. See what happens. Preacher additionally, because of the Death Touch, means that even with like Monstrous Rage or some other stuff, any other like pump spell, it will like trade in combat, which is good. And we're on 14, so like look at the point we're kind of like, oh, maybe we do have to. Ooh, I kind of like this block because it does force. Oh, it does stop us gaining life though. It's from this ability in particular. We take 7, go to 7. Then we get to attack, make a token, have the Clash Rate Highborn up. I'm going to risk this because otherwise it gives them the opportunity to shoot this down. Or shoot us to stop us gaining life. So we block this, we take 6. Okay, I'm going to try this. And we'll see how it goes. I just really don't want to take damage from this ability. Empire, please. Does make this like kind of awkward, but we should at least be able to do that. So if we attack with, oh, the etchings in combat though. Okay. So we get our lifelink with Empire. These get much worse with the etchings in play. Maybe we do this. 2 cards. Yeah, because we just don't gain the life off of these. Are you just putting these like, are you blocking like this then? I guess, but that takes the life gain away anyway. Alright, I'm gonna play a Bloodletter. And see if we can work out a way to like trade some of these etchings away. Basically, so these are currently preventing the Classroom Highborn from triggering. They have Shocked, which is not a good sign for us. For sure that like, sounds bad. I'm blocking like this. We're currently taking 3. I'm gonna gain 1 back. Okay, they have Helix us. Oh, do they have double Helix? Double Helix would be okay. Boros Charm is good enough. Yeah, we're kind of all a million ways dead to this anyway. We played even if we ran out both Equestria Highborns there, and kind of like just been kind of given up on getting life off of them, would have still lost that. Solid. We'll keep this. Water Grave go. And I'm gonna lead on the cabin. It's not like we're actually gonna get something happen here. I would rather get the pulse track effect push than the Knight of the Ebon Legion. I'm just gonna run this out first. Ooh, gaze, interesting. Okay, not dredge stuff. This Stubborn Denial tells us it's almost certainly some kind of Neoform Attractor deck. That's what I would expect from these models. And the other worldly gaze. I wonder what they take here. Sorry, the Knight of the Ebon Legion is probably the card that's the most damage. Yeah, the Opulent Palace gives a bit of a giveaway. We might get comboed this turn. Well, not comboed, but we might. So they have 5 cards in the graveyard. They can go Hooting Mandrills into like Shockland Neoform to get an Atraxa. Or something similar. It should be bad. Let's see what they have. Alright. They have land number 3. We're just going to get turn 3 Atraxed. They're looking at our creatures. That suggests no, but you know what they say about assuming it makes an ass out of you and me. So, hey. They actually go here. So you've got double other against the flashback. They might also have a fatal push. I would try to see running out the Preacher and running out the Astro Highborn. We already have one of these in place. It's likely that we can pay for this. So I'm gonna attack. We'll do that first. And like given this, we'll just cast the Preacher and see what happens. Yeah, one of the ways that you can like so for Markov Baron, which is the has the Manus on there, one of the ways I was like, oh, that's like an interesting way that like also happens to enable that is that you can play Bitter Triumph. I always get this card wrong. Is it just Bitter End? Nope. It is Bitter Triumph. Okay, brilliant. Which is the like, okay, so you've got Scavengers. Oh, they can exile some Moot to get double straight visions and haste. That's pretty good. That's not bad, huh? They don't assumably want to do. Oh, it's when it enters and attacks, you get the haste and then you get to trigger again. The counter makes it bigger than the Preacher, though. It's tough. So let me do it on. No, now I don't want to block. Okay. We got a 12. We would have liked to draw a Lord here, really. But they are on 10. I'm going to attack. They don't have lifelink here. Ooh, the drawing is pretty cool. I'm going to pay to both of these. You can't cast Drawing this time. And these drains will hopefully keep us alive. So this goes to 5/5. The double strike. It depends what else they have here. They could also have a way to get lifelink on it, in which case we kind of lose the game. But we're limit testing a little bit. Okay, that's Trample and Haste. Not bad. I guess Death Touch. We're not gonna block because we live here. And then they need, if we get to untap with both of these Classic Highborns, then it's all over, I think. Valid. I'm just gonna attack like Acid Jana. Yeah. That's triggers here. Nice. Okay. Not starting with double losses with vampires, which is good. Maybe there's something here. I'm a little worried, especially like the Highborns, like, are these cards good enough? This is what I was talking about with Gatekeeper, but hopefully we can draw to the land here. If we draw to the land, we're going to get to the point we can activate the Necklace very quickly. Also, this is like the triple 1-drop hand where if you have like a Markov Baron, you can be like, I'm just gonna like have my hand on the battlefield on turn 2, but this is fine. When we hit a land, these do more damage than the Ebon Legion early. I'm just gonna play one of these out first. Shock. So they are missing blue still right now. Oh. No one's ready for Cabin Vampire. We're gonna combat. I wonder if they take this just to see if we play anything else. Okay, see, they've shot, so maybe have some interaction here. I'll play a Pulse Tracker. I'll play the Knight. And we have Gatekeeper for next turn if they like make a Fable or something like that. This is a pretty reasonable position. And a turn Binding. It's fair enough. They're taking a couple of damage to play that. We have some damage there in play. Cornucopia. Interesting. And this gives them more colours. Yeah, unfortunately can't Nick Toss this turn. Gonna run out of races pretty quickly. So this is 5 color Niv. Let's go to combat. We are casting this so that we can get the pull letter out next turn, hopefully. Doesn't feel the greatest, but hey. I was really hoping they'd like a Fable here and we'd have like a great window to cast the Gatekeeper. But casting it as a 2-2, it beats down and gives us Devotion. Helix on it. Not my fave. You can just cast above there. We can't do anything cool off of it. I'm going to put the Necklace into play. We'll do this. So this is kind of neat. I wonder if they have like an answer for this, because these will both deal double damage. Oh, they have the Vanishing Burst. Okay. Now we're looking like a bit more like an underpowered aggro deck. That also exiles, because you can't get it back with Takanuma here. I'm just going to open attack with these. So they're storing for land drops. It's still better for us to play the Preacher than to activate Takanuma just blind. Also, like a load. If we get to use them to use real removal spells on these, that's great for us. Yeah. You've not got enough pips yet to be making value off the Necklace. Ooh, that's rough. Losing Takanuma is not great. But at least they're going to have to do something else here to deal with the Preacher. Open attack it. Oh, it does get to attack. That's big. We like cards. We're incentivized to play the Swamp out. They still haven't hit a land. It's really tough. Oh, I say that immediately. No Omnath. I'm not sure what this will be. Grab Plains, which are making nerve. Okay, I'm going to bring to light. This could be for Sunfall, could be for Niv. A few different things. Depends what they fancy. They're going to cast in Miserable. They're on 9. They get to gain the 5 off of this, which is good for them, of course. And then they get to pick up a bunch of spells. They unfortunately do like to pick up a bunch of lands. So we see Vanishing Burst, Lightning Helix, Colgan's Command, all pretty good. This Swamp maybe needs to play defense here. I'm just going to attack with the Preacher. This is Death Touch. Plays with Niv, fine. Let's see if they block. They don't. We can now kick this. They didn't find a rare. We'll target them. We can insulate the Fatal Push with a land. seems fine, but they can answer pretty much everything here with the cards if they've got enough time. So Cornucopia, they're going to get off like that. They've left up Colgan's Command, or Helix, or whatever. In theory, the push could deny. They would have to use both of them for the Bloodletter, though, which is kind of nice. So yeah. They'd have to double up. Oh, actually, they can't use both of them on the left. Ooh, interesting. They're on 14. This trigger will happen. It's a funny one when maybe they actually want to kill the Pulse Tracker instead of the Gatekeeper. But it's a real choice of what they can deal with here. They didn't have a direct answer for the Bloodletter. So yeah, we're kind of. They do get to, unfortunately, gain life and Cornucopia on both of these. This resolve would have got a swamp. This fatal push, for what it's worth, isn't getting much value. It basically only deals with tokens from Fable of the Mirrorbreaker here, or potentially a Sunfall thing. This is not great. We're into the like. At this point, we should be losing this game, but we'll see how things go. That's not a bad draw, actually. Sure. We'll use one of our fail pushes. We like that. I still can't really pump here because I need to protect from Lightning Helix, unfortunately. Even though we get a counter. Maybe soon. They have 5 cards in hand. Sorry, 5 unknown cards. They actually have 6 cards total in hand. This is their Thought Inspire Verge. Okay. Interesting one. So they're not playing Yorion here. It's possible they only have one actual copy of Nimbus Reborn. I did actually post a video with this deck earlier today on the YouTube channel. Tibble. Yeah, I love Tibble. Just gonna remove the knight. I could fatal push it. We're grasping at this. This is giving away to the line and potentially close the game out, to be fair. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. I think we're dead to Tibble, Lightning Helix, and any of the rest of the cards. Particularly, like, the Cornucopia is getting them a lot of life here. I think that's one thing to highlight. The value from this. They would be quite dead without it getting them all the life. But hey. Alright. We use that one. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna put a land back. I'm 21. Yeah. Maybe not reveal that we're on full vampire plan. Yeah, it may be a bit better, but not be markedly, like, not make a impact on how good the deck is in the format, really. It'll win some games. That's where we've been for a while. Conquistador gets to attack. Nice. Here for that. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna run out the Pulse Tracker. We can be mana efficient with the Gatekeeper, but this obviously has the way more value if we get to kick it on turn 3. Kind of praying for a land here. If we then do not draw something, then we'll play it. And yes, they were holding on to like a Torch is interesting. It may not be actual mono red. Could be one of these like creativity decks or like creativity transmogrified decks. Ooh, I take it all back. That's a fear of missing out. Just like good old Rakdos. That book helping us a little bit. Oh, I wish if only we'll play the Highborn and pass. If we hit the land here, would have been great. Yeah, so Rakdos, but with like the demon package, it looks like we discarded an Unholy Annex here. Maybe that means they are Annex flooded. It could also mean they don't have a third land, but It's likely given this that their hand's pretty solid. Okay, Harvester insulates them from Gatekeeper a little bit. Carry on not drawing land, which is tough. No attacks. They can shoot the Highborn down here with the Harvester, or something else down with the Harvester if they really want to. But yeah, at least get to drain them with it. It looks like they're gonna go ahead and fire off the Harvester, or they're gonna go to combat. Okay, no combat. Also, none of that. We have Drana on 3 to cast, but then I need to trade this out. You can't buff this though. For a bit of a standoff, like we would want to cast this, they would be able to potentially harvester it. They're also stuck on 2 lands. I'm just gonna cast this. This is a potato fest right now. Now we've got shields down on the Clastria Highborn, you're not going to lose 2 life. Maybe they fire this off now. If he draw like land into land, that'd be brilliant. That'd be cool. Also, it is hard to like keep tapping out the creatures and also have mana up for Highborn. They're going to go ahead and go for the throw hit. Okay. Because they don't have the mana here to pay. But yeah. That is kind of the downside here, and why this card is not like incredible. You do need to pay the troll toll. They hit that land, they get to make a Fable. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna fire off a second spell here. It's the third Gatekeeper Gatsy. Yeah, we're still stuck on 2 lands. Why is Fear missing out at 2-3? Honestly, this card is like pretty great without the extra point of toughness. Been pushed a little bit. Alright. It's one of those things where like the first time I was like, oh, I'm gonna attack Glistener up, and I was like, wait, Deathrite Shaman's a 1-2? Why? I guess I have to use Magic Aggro to get through this. Yeah. Oh, they're actually gonna trade away. Okay, sure. So they can, if they've got a land here, they can make Demon. They're gonna flip Fable. Untap land into make Demon, so they're getting instead of losing off here. Oh no, okay. Sheoldred. Interesting. Then they can Mute Evolt for the Demon. Okay. We lose. We still just can't hit a third land. Ah. If we had the 22nd land over Adrana, maybe we get there. I'm playing 4 Bloodletter for this. All jokes aside, I think 3 Adrana is probably the right number. The 4 Bloodletter is maybe a little questionable. It is so good with some of the early triggers in the deck. I can't. Well, we're dead next turn if we. How do we not die? Do we take this? We take a bunch of the Sheoldred. Well, we're going to take some of the Demon, take some of the Sheoldred. Alright, team, I got this. No problem. Unfortunately, Sheoldred has Death Touch. These will all die. But it gets us 2 turns. That might be a lie. No, we get a 12 and then take 6. Yeah, so we get 2 turns instead of 1. We still don't draw the land, so we're gonna skip it up. We're dead losing the board anyway, but we're already dead here. Okay, surely we can salvage. Surely we can salvage 1 back. We've got 1 win. And a second win would be cool. Yeah. Oh, the double Nykthos. I'm putting this Fatal Push back based on the fact that we have double Gatekeeper. How many gets me on the play? Nice. Now, talking about double Gatekeeper like that only really works out if I can actually. If I have time for double Gatekeeper. It's actually. If I use both of them as removal. Given the Black Keeper start, I'm actually not going to cast one of them here. I'm going to save both of them to use this removal, especially because we've got the lands. Oh, and it's Greasefang. Not actual, not like the demon deck we just played against. Sky Sovereign are good, but if they have a Greasefang here, we are in all kinds of trouble. And we at least have an answer for the Greasefang. We have that at least, but we lose both of our creatures to Sky Sovereign, and then it also takes 6. That's a Shockland. That's a Greasefang. They are ruined. There are 4 cards left. We'll see. This will go back to the hand as well. A couple of turns before they can cast it. They don't have any other vehicles in the graveyard. You even have to have another Greasefang. Get like a turn off. We kick the second Gatekeeper at them. Yeah, I was like, based on Black Gatekeeper starting, I think, and us having the lands and both Gatekeepers, I think we should try and use both the Gatekeepers. It wouldn't have made a hope. Actually, what would have happened if we ran on turn 2 is that we'd have lost both Gatekeepers to and not have an answer for the Greasefang. So I feel happy with that decision. Thought we'll seize the Pulse Tracker. Okay. Unfortunately, stonewalled by the FOMO. Which is awkward. Also let them discard the Sovereign again. So maybe they just have another Greasefang. Harvest is dealable. I like Drana here. Highborn would be interesting. Let's make some cool attacks. Swamp to activate Hive of the Hive Turret. I wouldn't hope for, but like, let's just take the Sky Sovereign out of the graveyard at least. Ooh, they're gonna attack if you're missing out. Interesting. I'll make these blocks. Do I offer to trade the board? I don't. One other cool thing is if you have like blood tokens around, you can effectively flash this in by sacrificing blood and madnessing it. But we'll do this the honest old-fashioned way. I'm just gonna come into the red zone with these. They have opportunities to trade off with them, but I think as bad as it looks, it's only a ton better. And they could have used one of these to just kill the Markover Baron. They maybe the vampire, maybe this deck we put together is a little bit underpowered. It's not impossible. Okay, no attacks here. We have some decent draws still, but we're in a might trouble. They only discarded 1 card. They have another Fear missing out. There's a Parhelion. Is this untapped land Greasefang? If that was untapped land Greasefang, I would have been. I can't even really say the most sorted. Well, we'll name Vampire here. We'll animate this. Go into the red zone. I won't attack with this because it gets chopped by the. Yeah, they get to double block here and then just eat this. Or they double block here, we kill the Fist of missing out, and then one of these eats this. Is this running it down mid? No, because they have to double block here. Okay, we're on 14. I'm exiling Sky Soul. Hellion. That's the idea. Trying to avoid just dying. We do have a Fable Flip. Fable Flip, Table Flip. And I think. Oh no, okay. I was like, they did keep a card in hand. Or they've been opting not to blood taking these away. This is the Greasefang. It's not the Greasefang. Oh, we have flooding. One game we just like can't hit our third land. The other one we're like, oh here, have 5, flood out a little, just for fun. Yeah. I think we're gonna get fabled out here, regardless of Greasefang. The deck is sweet, but it does feel, haha, the joke was on you. Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot about this. So if you do this, you can uh I'm sure there was a thing you could do. I'm gonna double block here. Is there not a thing you can do where you untap the reflection? Or is it if you have two of them, they can untap each other? I just can't remember. We draw like 40-second land. Hey, maybe a champion of dust would have been fine. Bit tricky. Bit tricky. I've not played with this. I can't remember exactly how it goes. Yeah, but you can untap the reflection. Copy here. This is untapping, then this will untap this, and then you carry on down the line. We are all kinds of dead, but that is how the combo works. Anyway, the vampire deck a little underpowered without Sorin, perhaps. If it's like very mana intensive, but also like you really can't afford to flood out. Maybe like getting rid of the bloodletters, playing like Smuggler's Copter to help with that would be reasonable. Kind of getting off the Decklist package, and then the other way is to like go in on the Decklist package, play Champion of the Dusk, maybe even play a couple of like Vein Rippers in here or something still, and then trim down all this like early aggro stuff to play more of a mid-range vampire game plan. Both of those I think totally reasonable. This is cute, but Highborn is super mana intensive, and if it was like free, would be awesome. But having to pay mana for each time when you're trying to like tap out for stuff is bad. I still love Gatekeeper Malika. Would still play this in whatever version like you end up on, and obviously you can still play the red cards. Harvester in particular is like still just a house, but you don't gain as much as you used to. And going like mono black for like Bloodmare is actually pretty good. Like the times we got to activate like to make a Bloodletter with like some number of these lose life effects in play was incredible. But there are more powerful things you can be doing in the format than this in particular. So I think either lower curve, play the copters, and like trim on the top end stuff, playing lower lands, like more mute vaults, or going the other way and going like further up the curve, playing more mid rangey, having more solid removal with like bit of triumph and stuff. Either of those totally reasonable. It's worth saying that the like black red version when you're playing Harvester, maybe Voldaren Epicure, with the blood tokens, you get more value out of the Markov Baron, being able to like flash it in when you're discarding it, stuff like that. But yeah, deck is still sweet. Happy to try it out and happy to kick off 2025 with it. Happy New Year again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, like I said, I'm currently streaming this over on Twitch. Similarly, if you're over on Twitch, check out the YouTube channel. Do upload on there currently pretty much every day. Have done like weekdays for December, and I'm gonna try and see about daily uploading for the entirety of January. We'll see how that goes. That's kind of why I'm streaming with a bunch of different decks today. But yeah,